Fans of modern and ultra-modern miniatures and wargaming, thank you very much for joining me for a review of near-future British Army infantry and mobile fire support platforms. So this is something a little bit different to what I normally do in the realms of Horus Heresy, Gates of Antares or Cacti. So I've got something a bit different today. I've got a set of sample miniatures that have been provided to a friend of mine, and he asked if I'd do a review of these. And these miniatures are by a company called Evil Bear. I'll leave a link in the description if it's something that you're interested in checking out. Evil Bear have got a growing range of modern and near future wargaming miniatures in 28mm scale. There's, for example, some very nice resin models of vehicles that have been deployed in the Afghanistan conflict by the British Army. This isn't my normal sort of thing, but these are of interest to me because they are, as I say, these are models of firstly infantry with the latest generation of military hardware that is in testing and getting ready for deployment, and also two remote weapon platforms, which, you know, is intriguing and an indication of how Western military thinking, tactics and hardware is developing. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox these, we're going to have a look at these miniatures and just see what they're like, really. Have a little look at the kit quality, the usual sort of thing I do in my reviews. These are made out of white metal, so then there's no resin and no plastic components, they're just metal models. So what we're going to do is going to start with these guys, the infantry. Now, just something to note, these infantry are pre-production models that were rejected from sale due to some slight imperfections with the molds. So these aren't actually indicative of what the final quality will be. So when I show you these models, please do bear that in mind, that these are in effect, you might call them seconds. I believe Evil Bear has sold this run as a discounted second batch. However, these two should be at full production quality, so just bear that in mind. Right, so why is this interesting? Well, let's have a look. So what have we got first? So let's have a look. We've got a selection of 28mm models with separate heads and some separate weapons. So I think what the best thing to do here is to get them out and start having a look at them. Right, where do we start? Now, why are these so interesting to me? Well, as I say, these are British Army soldiers, and they've been configured, they've been sculpted in some of the latest hardware that the British Army is testing and about to deploy. Now I'm going to do the technical bit here. Now this is from a guy who knows something about this. There might be some of you who know more about this, and if so, please do leave a comment. These are British Army infantry configured with equipment that's come out of the Verus program, and there's two, I suppose there's three key components as I understand it. The first is the Mark 7 Viper helmet, which is a replacement for the existing British Army helmet. See if we can get some focus on this guy to have a look at it. There you go. As you can see some of the surface defects with these miniatures, which I mentioned. So yeah, just bear that in mind when assessing the quality. And they are also equipped with what's called Vampire body armour, which has an integrated hydraulic weight distribution system. As you may be aware, there is research and development been going on for some time now, looking at exoskeletons and other technologies to allow infantry soldiers and other military personnel, and of course there are civilian applications of this as well, to better carry load. So this particular approach, I think it's safe to say, doesn't look to try and reduce the overall weight that the soldier is carrying. However, it does look to redistribute that across the human musculoskeletal system more efficiently than existing webbing systems do. And you can see on the back here, that's what you've got these three pipes, which I believe are the hydraulic system. And I think what it does, and that's connected into this small backpack unit, and I believe it distributes away across the hips and torso better than traditional webbing systems. So that's a clever bit of this. Then, as I say, they've got this new Vampire body armour, or they've been sculpted wearing the new Vampire body armour. This infantryman is armed with a GPMG, general purpose machine gun, or a Jimpy, and he's got his helmet with a pair of goggles on as well. So that's the first guy. Let's see what else we've got. Now, I did mention a third element, and that is the latest variant of the SA-80 bullpup assault rifle that the British Army uses, the L85A3 variant, and this version here has got an underslung grenade launcher. Here we can see the Viper helmet in its full glory. I mean, you've got to laugh, haven't you? Anyone who knows 40k, that this is a Mark 7 Viper helmet. that does give me a little chuckle. So does that make this Aquila armour? I don't know. But yeah, it has a fully integrated face piece and then the goggles as well. I'm not sure what the technical or the performance benefits of this are, or the purpose, but I don't know if it's to protect the face from shrapnel or if it serves some other role. You can see he's got this knee pad as well on his armour for firing, for kneeling and firing, I believe. And again, there you can see the hydraulic weight distribution system plumbing. Let's move on. Here we have another guy with an L85A3. Nice looking models these, and setting aside obviously that, as I said, these are seconds from a casting front, they look really good representations of the subject matter. Well, they do to me. A friend of mine who knows a lot about this gear and thought that they've been very well represented. But certainly to my eye, the weapon, so this guy's got the SA-80, you can see the sight on the top of it, and then it's got a foregrip as well. It looks like the weapon to me, and I don't know. Here we have a mini-me. Now another friend of mine gave me several hundred words of text behind the history of this weapon and what the name means. It's actually a French name. I think it means miniatures militaire, so mini machine gun as opposed to something else. That's what I said. But yeah, again, that looks good. You've got the box mag on it, another low magnification scope, and he's got his Viper helmet with goggles and a comlink, it seems, but no, it hasn't got the face mask. And again, the hydraulic system there. So how many guys are in here? So there are 8. I think there's 8. Is that right? 8? Yes, 8. So there is a complete section here. Another guy here. Don't know if this is supposed to be the NCO. He's got a service pistol. And oh, look at that, doing a hand signal with 2 fingers. And not that hand signal, a proper kind of a silent communication. Very good. Nice detail there, an empty holster. Who's next? It's got another guy with the underslung grenade launcher on his L85A3 rifle. Again, he's got the enclosed faceplate on his Viper helmet and the goggles. See, this particular mold here has suffered quite badly from the defects that I mentioned at the start. Next guy, another rifleman. Again, he hasn't got the enclosed face. He's got the helmet. Interesting looking helmet. It looks something like the American helmet, or well, I guess really these designs are most clearly inspired by the Star helm, or the Stahlhelm, Imperial German Army from the First World War period. And then there's another guy here with his pistol drawn and fully enclosed Viper helmet. And there's a selection of heads. So you could, as you saw, most of these models have all got separate heads. So how many heads have we got? It looks like we've got quite a lot of spare heads here. Maybe you get, oh gosh, look at all these dudes. Right, so you've got no goggles, goggles up, enclosed face helmet, and then this guy here who looks like he's got a pair of cameras or something mounted on the side of his helmet. Yeah, well, that fell for sprue. Hope my mate doesn't mind. Quite novel, that camera helmet. And then we've got one final set of weapons again, and the same heads repeated. Very interesting, yeah. So I'm actually genuinely fascinated to look at those, because they are, as I say, this gear hasn't been deployed yet, but it is near future. You have got warriors here who look, you know, pretty futuristic, and they certainly wouldn't look out of place in a number of science fiction films of recent years and history. Let's have a look at these remote weapons units. So there's 2. One of them is armed with a GPMG, and that's got road wheels fitted, and the other is armed with a Browning M250 caliber or whatever variant it is, and that has tracks fitted. So let's start off with the wheels unit. So these are proper quality, I believe. Look, they feel good. Very futuristic stuff, these guys. Got a winch on the back. And then what we're going to do is you've got 2 sets of 3 wheels. They're going to go on the side, like so. He's got his headlight details up front as well, I like that. And then we've got then you've got the GPMG with its ammo box and sighting equipment on the side. Novel. Little detail there with the ammo feeding through. And then as I mentioned, this is a remote unit because thank goodness we don't have combat AIs, and let's hope it stays that way. So this is actually operated by a real person, and that's this fella here now. He's got his Viper helmet, he's got his hydraulic weight distribution system on with his vampire body armour. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Is this a control unit? Maybe it is. Oh, is that like oh, it is. So this is like a tablet computer, a large tablet computer, I believe, that is the lid of this control unit. I think, if I've read that right, yeah. And he's using that to control the remote weapon unit. And then we've got, don't know what these are, a little manipulator arm. I have no idea where they go, unless that slaps on the front there. And then some other control unit as well. If anyone knows how this goes together, please say in the comments. It's just my ignorance that I don't know how it goes together. And then finally, we've got this unit. So another remote weapons unit, this time equipped with tracks and a 50 caliber heavy machine gun. Let's take a look. We've got the body unit again. Yeah, nice cast. I mean, on these ones, which I believe are the properly cast ones, they look very neat castings with very little in the way of mould lines and cleanup required. You know, it puts me in mind of the quality of some of the metal models that Warlord Miniatures are producing at the moment. I bought some of their Antares range, and those are very well turned out as well, but these are good as well. Let's look at the tracks. Now, is that an idler? Is that, I guess, I don't know if that goes up there. These go on the side. I don't know if the tracked version is a requirement of fitting the heavier weapon, the 50 caliber, or if you could put the GPMG onto a track chassis and the 50 caliber onto the wheeled chassis. I don't know that. But yeah, it does look doody, doesn't it? It looks quite neat. You could probably use these in other sci-fi games to be honest, these wouldn't be too bad at 40k scale. I don't know what they'll be, but if you know, that sort of scale, or other sci-fi games as drones, or even if you're playing in a game with AI, there could be AI warbots as well. Yeah, smart little model that, like that. And then finally we'll take a look at the operator. Okay, so that definitely confirms it. So this lid thing, or what looks like a lid to the control unit, it comes with a manipulator arm again. This is a tablet computer. There you go, it's got a little home button down there, or whatever it is, that this guy's using to control the remote weapon station. He's got the Viper helmet with the goggles and the cameras. Yeah, very good. So, there you have it. Models are from Evil Bear, near future British Army Infantry from the Verus programme, and 2 remote weapon units, so for the British Army as well. Still in testing, I believe, and not yet operationally deployed. So I hope you found that interesting, something a little bit different, as I say. I'll leave a link to Evil Bear's website if you're interested in modern wargaming. I've not reviewed them, but I have seen his resin and metal military models, and they really are very nice. So yeah, do check that out if that's of interest to you. So yeah, let me know, as always, what you think of these in the comment section. You know, do you know anything about these particular units that you can share? I'd be interested to hear, as always. So that's all for now. I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you next time, and goodbye.